Up, future officers. My name is Tejas, and I warmly welcome all of you to class 15 of IED. Today, we are going to be discussing some prelims factuals, one main topic which is very interesting and which will have a 360-degree analysis about it. And later, we'll even go to a ethics case study later on in the video. So, without much ado, let's begin with the prelims factual information. Wherein today, in our first news, we have this particular news where Kerala is declared as the first fully digitally literate state in the country. So, Kerala becomes the first fully digitally literate state. Now, this particular feat was achieved by Kerala in August 20th, 2025. So, 100% digital literacy was achieved, and this particular training was undertaken where 21.87 lakh people were benefited, where different individuals across the state were benefited because of this. In fact, CM Pinnarai Vijayan, he is the Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinnarai Vijayan. Okay, so Pinnarai Vijayan G, he particularly said that this particular initiative has been included from all ages, from a young age to a very old person. Everybody has been included. So, to give you a little bit of example, let me show you this very young person here. He's 105 years old, right? Can you believe it? So, this itself is an achievement. He is Mr. Abdullah Maulvi. So he has learned how to use the digital gadgets under this digital Keralam project. Under digital Keralam project, he has learned this. So this clearly proves that age is not an obstacle to digital inclusion. So what exactly do we mean when we say that a state has become digitally literate? What is digital literacy? Digital literacy is the ability to use ICT. Use ICT. ICT means what? Information and communication technology to find, evaluate, create information, including cognitive and technical skills. Okay, so this is the technical definition of this digital literacy. But sir, that's all fine. But can you tell us in something where we can clearly understand, you might ask. See, it is basically where all people can use digital gadgets. That's all. So here, Kerala, it saw its pilot project success in this small gram panchayat, which was called as Pullampala. Okay, so Pullampala is the small gram panchayat which saw huge success. It became digitally literate. And then later on, after seeing this success of this pilot project, the entire Kerala also decided to go for it. And now they have achieved this feat of becoming digitally literate. Now, in fact, the chief minister has vowed for something bigger. He wants to do Kerala digital. So basically, digital Kerala 2.0. Now, what is in this digital Kerala 2.0? They plan to integrate artificial intelligence, cyber security, and DigiLocker, okay, various fintech services. So, things like this. So, whenever we are writing any answer, you can bring in Kerala's case study of digital literacy as a answer. Even this example of Abdullah Maulvi can also be an ethics example as well. So all this news, it highly depends on how you use it. So everybody almost these days, when you keep seeing mains copies, everybody writes almost very similar points. If you add one line or put one small box and write Kerala case study and write a little bit of all these things, it will add that extra value to your answers, wherein the invigilator is prompted to give you more marks. Next, we move on to Fiji Prime Minister Rabuka. He has right now in India and he's begun his 3 day visit to India. From which date? From August 24th to 26th of 2025. Right now, Sitwene Lingamamada Rabuka, that is the Fijian Prime Minister's name. He is going to be in India. And last year in 2024 August, President Srimati Honorable Draupadi Murmuji, she had gone to Fiji. Okay, now Fijian Prime Minister is coming here. Okay, sir, he's coming here. Why is he coming here? What is he going to do? You might ask. He is going to be in Indian Council of World Affairs. So, in this Indian Council of World Affairs, which is there in New Delhi, he is going to talk about various things, right? He's going to give a speech there. Okay, but how can questions be asked in exam? They might not directly give you about his 3 day visit and stuff like this, but they can ask you a geography question about Fiji. Now, Fiji is a very small island with 9 lakh population. Okay, with 9 lakh population. The most surprising thing about this 9 lakhs is 38% of these particular people, all of them are of Indian origin. Okay, Indian origin. Now you might get surprised. Who in Fiji so many Indian people are staying? These are not Indians of today, but rather Indians who migrated there maybe around 200 years back. Okay, so that time during the colonial rule, there were many Britishers who wanted to get some tea plantations and everything going in Fiji Islands and many other Latin American countries. So that time there were a lot of people from Bihar, Uttarakhand, all these people, they migrated there as indentured labor. So these people, they sustain the Indian culture there even today. How are they sustaining the Indian culture, sir? You might ask. See, even today, those people speak Hindi. Even today, they speak Bhojpuri. Even today, they celebrate Diwali. Okay, so in all of these aspects, we see that Indian culture is still surviving there. Maybe the Hindi they speak is very different. Maybe the roti and the palak paneer they eat is very different. But nevertheless, in some form, if it's attenuation, it still exists in these Latin American countries. So Gandhiji, he called them by a certain name. They were called as Gihir Mitiyas. What were they called? Gihir Mitiyas. Okay. So this particular thing, we see that Fiji has very negligible trade with India. Bilateral trade is very, very low. How much? It's just around 80 to 100 million. Here you have to remember it's not even billion, guys. It's not even 1 billion. It's just 80 to 100 million. Okay. So, having such negligible trade, India tries to support Fiji always. We give lot of developmental aid, we give lot of grants in aid. Okay, we give concessional lines of credit, and we try to support everything in every way. We try to support Fiji. One more thing which a lot of Fijians are getting benefited from India, something called as ITEC. What is this ITEC? It is nothing but Indian Technical Economic Cooperation. Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation. So Fiji people, they are using this for getting themselves trained and in capacity building. And in capacity building. Okay. So, what all are the aspects of trade? This can be another question. What all are the aspects of trade? One is renewable energy. Okay, renewable energy. Then second one, disaster management. Third, we do deal with them with sugar. Then certain agricultural crops. Okay, and then basically healthcare. So these are all the things where we are interested to deal with Fiji. And Fiji is very important because geostrategically also Fiji is considered as the gateway to the Pacific. In the next news, we have India and Russia. So what has happened is Russia's foreign minister, the counterpart to our foreign minister, who is Dr. S. Jaishankar, Russia's foreign minister, his name is called as Sergey Lavrov. So this Sergey Lavrov, he has held talks with Dr. S. Jaishankar, and both of them have concluded on something very significant. We want to make bilateral trade of India into $100 billion. See, China is, I mean, Russia is, of course, our all-weather friend, no doubt about it. It has stuck with us through thick and thin. But we see that most of the times our bilateral trade is still very low, actually. So, if we actually look at our bilateral trade, it is hugely and hugely in favor of Russia. To give you a little bit of approximation, what we export to India, that is what India sends to Russia, is just $4.8 billion. But what Russia gives to India is worth $63 billion. So can you see how skewed this particular ratio is? So this is creating a huge trade deficit with the Indian perspective. This is creating a huge trade deficit. Now, what is happening is basically, why is there so much of trade deficit? Because Russia and Ukraine war is going on. And because of Russia and Ukraine war, nobody is buying oil from Russia. But to India, Russia is selling it at a very cheap price. And India is a energy starved nation. India is an energy starved nation. So we would pounce upon this particular opportunity to buy all the oil at a very cheap rate. We are getting it at a cheap rate. So we are buying maximum, that is $63 billion from Russia. But right now, we want to increase this to $100 billion by 2030. Okay. So this was what was decided. Next up, we have another news where ISRO is testing many of these particular equipments for its mission called Gaganyaan. Now you all know that Gaganyaan is mission to send human beings, basically three human beings, to space in the low Earth orbit. We want to send people to space to see if they can survive and they can create a habitable condition in space. But can we just risk sending human beings just like that? No, we need to take a lot of precautions. So that is what we are doing a lot of tests right now and seeing if everything works out. In fact, by the end of this year, that is by the end of 2025, probably in December, we would be sending a unmanned crew mission. Unmanned crew mission means first unmanned will go. Later, if it is successful, then we will send our manned space mission. So this is our unmanned crew mission. So here we plan to send a humanoid robo who's a female humanoid robo called as a Vyom Mitra. Vyom Mitra is the name of the robot. So here, with the help of Vyom Mitra, they plan and to validate key technologies like crew escape system, then environmental control, life support system, and re-entry system. So all these kind of systems will be tested out once after sending Gaganyaan to space. Later on, it will carry human beings to see if the exact same thing can be replicated again. Okay. So this particular news. Then you have another news from Saudi Arabia. Right now, it is that time of the year where a lot of pilgrims, especially belonging to the Islamic religion, they go to Saudi Arabia for a pilgrimage of Hajj. Okay, so this Hajj, Ministry of Hajj and Umrah, which is a Saudi Arabian ministry, they have launched a platform which is called as Nusuk Umrah. Okay, they have launched a platform called Nusuk Umrah. So, what is this platform about? It is a platform for international pilgrims who can directly book their tickets without any intermediaries. Without any intermediaries. So, directly they can work here. Is this clear? So, for Hajj Yatra. So, this is something which was in news. This is something which you should know. After this, the next one is Assam. Assam, you all know. The Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, he has right now told, he has made a statement that first time Aadhaar will not be given to anybody who's achieved 18 years for the time being. And he has told that he is adhering to some revised SOPs. SOPs means standard operating procedure as precautionary measures. So, some time back, there was something called as NRC, which was conducted. NRC means National Registry of Citizens. So, when this was conducted in Assam, it was found out that about 19 lakh people couldn't prove their citizenship. That means what? They have come from Bangladesh and they are staying in Assam. Okay, what you also have to know is about something called as Assam Accord. Assam Accord and a Citizenship Amendment Act. So these two things are your homework for today, where you have to read about this, do a small reading, and come about this particular topic. So then you will understand about what Assam is facing, how the demography is completely changing in Assam. Okay, because of the influx of all of these refugees who are slowly becoming and integrating into India. See, very recently, our Prime Minister in our Independence Day speech, he told that he will do something about these refugees. So within a week's time, you can see that all of this is being done also, right? So this finishes up our prelims component. Now let us move on to the mains analysis. So next up, we move to the mains analysis portion of it, wherein we see that there is something called as the 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill, which was recently introduced to the Parliament, uh, where Amit Shah ji, he has introduced this particular bill, right? So 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill is right now cleared also, and it is in the Joint Parliamentary Committee. Now, what is this 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill all about? It is an incredible bill, guys. Let me tell you why it is incredible, because it dilutes the power from the person who's making it, thereby making it look like democracy is winning, wherein it has the power to even oust the prime minister of this country. Even prime minister is brought under its ambit. It tells that if the prime minister is arrested for 30 days, if the prime minister is arrested for 30 days, then in that case, even the prime minister can be sent out. Okay, he also, president can remove him. This is the kind of deadly provision which is there in this particular bill. So the ruling party is telling it is very good because everybody is bought under its ambit. If prime minister is only bought under its ambit, then all the chief ministers, ministers in the central government, ministers in the state government, everybody are bought. Very simple. If they are arrested for 30 days, in that case, they can be sent outside this particular, they can be sent outside their office. That is the bill, right? So ruling party is telling this is an extremely good step because it is going to help curtail corruption. Okay, very good it is. But the opposition party, in fact, all the opposition parties have come together and they are jointly telling no, this is very bad. Why is it very bad? Many of them, they are even tearing this particular bill in this parliament. They are telling that this cannot be done. See, 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill. Let's try to talk about this. What is this 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill? That means to say that our Constitution, okay, there have been 130 times where our Constitution has been tried to be amended. Okay. Our founding forefathers, Dr. Ambedkar ji and all others, they thought that constitution cannot be set in stone. According to the changing needs of time, constitution also has to change. So based on that, they made this provision under the constitution called as Article 368. Under Article 368, they give us the power to change the constitution. Okay. So what is going to be changed right now according to this bill? There are two articles which are very specifically Article 75 and Article 164. So these are the two articles which are going to be changed. According to this particular two articles, it says that Article 75, it tells there shall be a prime minister. Article 164, it tells that there shall be a chief minister. So the magic number you have to remember is plus 89. We have already discussed this in our previous video also. Plus 89. If you add plus 89 to most of the central government articles, you get the state government article. So Article 175 and Article 164. Article 75, it tells that Prime Minister can advise the President for minister removal. Okay. Same way, Article 164, it tells the same thing with CM. Okay, same thing, right? So here, along with this, now an addition is going to be made telling that 30 days, if any minister, including the prime minister, is arrested, in that case also, you can remove that particular minister. Okay, that minister automatically will be removed automatically. Even if the prime minister wants him to stay, he can be removed. Same in the state government also. Now, this on the 31st day, his work will be over. That is it. So all the parties are telling that, see, this is against federation. This is not right because it goes against the federal spirit. So what is the fear here really with the opposition parties? The real fear is that many of the investigation agencies, like let's say ED is there, then you have CBI, all this enforcement directorate, CBI, it is very easy to use them and arrest anybody for 30 days. Who has control of the CBI ED? See, CBI is controlled by Ministry of Home Affairs. And similarly, enforcement directorate is controlled by Ministry of Finance. So they are basically controlled by government only. So can it go against the government only and arrest the prime minister and the ministers and all? It seems very unlikely. Okay, it seems very unlikely that this can actually happen because how can the investigations they are functioning under go against its own political masters? Very, very rare case. So has it ever happened in the central government? No, it has not happened. But has it happened in the state government? Yes, it has happened in the state government multiple times. Very recently, even CM Arvind Kejriwal, okay, Delhi's chief minister, he was arrested and he was kept in, jail for so many days. West Bengal, it has happened. Tamil Nadu, it has happened. So you have to understand one thing here. Here, these people were just arrested. They were not convicted. But what does the law say? Law says if the person is convicted, then he is considered guilty, right? So Supreme Court also intervened, and Supreme Court told that in 193 cases, okay, in 193 cases of whatever enforcement directorate has taken, just two people are actually convicted. Just two people are actually convicted. What about everybody else? They are not convicted. So, what can you understand by this? Less than 1% conviction rate. Less than 1% conviction rate. That means 99% of the people are not convicted in all these cases. So, if you read between the lines here, you can see a certain political fabrication. That is, people who are there in power just want to create some kind of a trouble to this opposition. So usually they frame cases for enforcement directorate CBI to go after them. So, okay, sir, is there any other case already existing which is similar to this? Okay, where we can curtail some criminals who are in politics? Yes, that is in 2013. In 2013, in the Supreme Court, there was something called as Lily Thomas case. Lily Thomas case. According to this Lily Thomas case, which is a Supreme Court judgment, okay, if any minister or if anybody in the parliament, if they're convicted for more than 2 years, in that case, it here you have to remember this word, it is not arrested for 30 days. Anybody can be arrested, but they should be convicted for more than 2 years. Then they cannot participate in the election. They should they should be in jail, right? They cannot participate in the election. So, in this case, you can see that this particular bill has more chance for misuse because already there is the Supreme Court case. What is the use of this particular bill again, right? Now, next, one more thing. Do you think really this bill will be passed, sir? You might ask. Okay, if you ask me, I think that uh, this bill is very difficult for it to be passed. Why? Because it is amending federal provisions. And when it amends the federal provisions, it needs two-third of the majority. Two-third of the majority plus 50%, that is simple majority in states. More than 50% of the states, in more than 50% of the states. That means we have 14 states. In 15 states, it should be passed in simple majority, and two-thirds of the majority have to pass it. So, simple majority, this is the condition which is required for this bill to pass. Now, does the NDA alliance, does it have the this particular strength, including BJP, then TDP, then Odisha's party, everything. If you Bihar, everything. If you take all the alliances of NDA, still they do not have the two-third majority. Okay, still it is somewhere little more than the simple majority, more than 50% majority they have, but they do not have this two-third majority. Even let's say the ruling government is successful in breaking down the opposition. Let's imagine this case also happens. Then also, okay, opposition cannot be broken. Let me tell you why opposition cannot be broken. Because it is something called as Schedule 10 of the Constitution. Now, under Schedule 10 of the Constitution, which talks about anti-defection, there is also a provision of party whip. Now, according to this party whip, whatever may be the personal opinion of any member of parliament, he has to vote the party, according to party decision itself. Okay, he has to vote according to the party decision. So overall, I feel that this is like a colorable legislation. Okay, there's like a colorable legislation. Colorable legislation means it has been painted as one thing, but it might be something else, right? So, anyways, so this was my humble take on it. You're free to take a stand, but you should just read about this particular article, then think. You're free to comment down. It is a democracy after all. You're free to comment down your opinion as well. That what do you think will happen if this bill is passed, right? So, this completes our mains section. Now, let's move on to the next part. In our ethics value addition today, we are discussing an article which was published today. So, what this particular article is telling you about is about a man who brings his own newly delivered baby, which was very unfortunately dead, to the DM's office. So it's very unfortunate when we read these things. It really makes us wonder about life, right? So in this time, this man, where is he from? He is from Lakhimpur Kheri. Lakhimpur Kheri is this place in UP. Okay, so what happened? What is this incident about? So because he had gone to a private hospital which allegedly delayed the treatment. Why did they delay treatment? They started raising their fees, which ultimately leads to his baby's death, right? So you can see how horrible it is. This particular systematic, it tries to indicate the whole systematic collapse of the whole healthcare system, right? So what exactly happened here? So what this father has told is that this hospital, it had gone on increasing the charges. First they told it was 10,000 rupees, then they told it was 12,000 rupees. Then they told 12,000 is for C-section. So this continuously, this treatment was going on being withheld when that mother is in that extreme pain, that these hospitals are asking for money and trying to, siphon off all this money from this individual. So they withheld the treatment until the full payment was done. They told that if you cannot pay, you don't get this particular treatment. So until the full treatment was done, they made this, and after the child was dead, they threw the wife on the road. Okay, the wife was thrown on the road, and later this father was given the dead baby, and this dead baby, okay, puts it in a bag and he goes to meet the DM asking for justice. So this starts sparking a national outrage. This is a violation. This is a violation of a very fundamental right to life itself. Right to life, as you all know, is under Article 21, right? Then you also see that this is a medical ethics breach, because what does medical ethics, what am I talking about? I am talking about the Hippocratic oath, which all doctors have to do. They have to treat the patient first, and later on only everything comes. So urgent care, when it was needed, it was stopped. Why? Due to some mere money. Due to money this was stopped, right? So this indicates a of regulatory collapse of regulatory oversight. Okay, collapse of regulatory oversight. Then it again raises concerns. It raises concerns about governance. It raises concerns about accountability. It raises concerns about compassion. Okay, so all these things in public service delivery. Okay, so like you can use this in so many ways. Like you can use it in essay, ethics, this particular thing to indicate the apathy in governance. Okay, you can use it to show how health sector organizations run without regulation. You can show this as an example of administrative empathy. What these people need is a little bit of empathy and some timely intervention. Okay. So let me know in the comment section that if you were the DM, how would you, what exactly you would do to bring justice to this man with a dead baby? Like, let us use this comment section very constructively and as a very nice discussion forum. Okay. So with this, I conclude this particular class of iLead. I hope that all this information is adding up and you are becoming more wiser and you are becoming a better UPSC aspirant capable of cracking the UPSC Prelims 2026 and become an officer in 2026. This is Tejas signing off. I'll see you all in the next episode of iLead. Until then, thank you and have a beautiful, beautiful day.